What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test or a test for some other virus, I really hope you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues and no long-term issues from those other viruses. It is time now for the Sunday edition of the Virus Update for Sunday, October 20th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where I do the daily virus update on all these different viruses, including COVID. And today we are going to talk about several different viruses. It's an unusually busy news day for a Sunday, and trust me, you'll want to stick around. We do have a surprise news drop that has come out on a Sunday from the state of Washington. Yes, we're going to get to that in just a little bit. So if you're new here, you want to stay informed with what's going on with all these viruses that could make you sick. Let's face it, there's a lot of them. And COVID is still a big deal. Yeah, you'll want to subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know. And of course, leave your comments down below. Alright, as stated, it is a very busy news day. I see several news stories here that we have to go through. Then we're going to take a look at some daily data. And then I'm going to show you a few things. We're also going to take a look at emergency department visits, because I went through that. And though we stopped going state by state, today we have to go state by state, because I'm starting to see some states that they're not dropping anymore. They're just starting to stall and level off. That's not good. We're going to take a look at some wastewater sites and maybe a couple other things. So let's get right into it. Starting off with tuberculosis, which is a problem in more than one area. And you're seeing the words rare here, but it's not so rare as of recently. I've been made aware that there have been several cases of it this year in the United States, and this one is coming from Alabama, where there is a tuberculosis case confirmed at Madison City High School. Yes, this is at the Bob Jones High School. A case was confirmed on Friday, so that's not a good thing. Then I was made aware of this, and I think someone let me know of this previously, and I just never got around to showing it on video. In Wilmington, Delaware, not all that far from where I'm at a children's hospital, there was an 11-month-old baby that arrived at New Moore with a concerning respiratory symptoms. It was diagnosed as tuberculosis. However, take a look at this. That then turned into, a day later, 3 more children showed up, and then even more children continued to show up. Yes, so this is not good, and they usually only treat 2 cases a year, so what was once not so rare has become slightly more common now that we're in the era of post 2019 and we're in the COVID era. So yeah, that's not a good thing. Alright, here is that breaking news from BNO, which is coming out of Washington State. And the state of Washington reports not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 cases of H5N1 bird flu in farm workers. This just shortly after California this month has reported, I think, about 13 cases. So, yeah, H5N1 in humans. It is really starting to evolve at this time, and the fact that we got a H5N1 news drop like this on a Sunday, that's rare. The last time we would get something like this for a virus that's not yet pandemic, or at least in this case, 2020. Now, I'm not saying H5N1 has gone 2020 style, but just the fact that, health departments are on the weekend, they don't usually report things. So this is really, this is usually something like this. It wouldn't come out till a Monday. It's coming out on a Sunday. That's just a little bit concerning, if you ask me. All right, moving over to Scotland now. A&E waiting times, and I believe that stands for Accident and Emergency. If I have any international friends, followers down here, let me know if I got that right. That's what I believe I found when I Googled it earlier. Anywho, A&E waiting times in Scotland at worst level since April. So in other words, this means that people are waiting quite a long time for emergency care at hospital. Statistics published by Public Health Scotland show 62.7% of people were seen within 4 hours in the week to October 6th, a sharp drop from 65.3% the previous week and the lowest since April 7th. And it says here, a Scottish government target aims to ensure 95% of attendances are seen within 4 hours. In the same week, 1,649 people waited longer than 12 hours in A&E, up from 1,271 the week before. So, in other words, what's happening here? You're seeing a big increase in the amount of time that people are waiting. That is a really long time. And if you have an issue, such as a cardiac issue, stroke, or something of that matter, that's just not a good thing to be waiting that long. Now moving over to what I believe is in the UK. Adam Ant Cliff's Pavilion show postponed due to illness, and it does look like this is in Westcliff, UK. Again, if any of my friends are from UK, enlighten me on where this actual performance center is, but it says he, quote, has a severe cold. And that doesn't say the words COVID, but as we know many times, they cannot say the words COVID for contract reasons, for insurance purposes, many different reasons, but, quote, severe cold. And we do know COVID is on the rise in the UK, so one can only guess that maybe COVID had something to do with it. All right, long COVID. Let's talk about it for a second. Long COVID is a significant health crisis in China, too. So this headline reads from the Lancet. And take a look here. It says here that long COVID is affecting at least 400 million individuals worldwide and a cost of $1 trillion now. Yeah. So long COVID all around the world is a big problem. It's also a big problem over in China. Do you want to read this whole study? I'll make sure this study gets posted on my site. As you all know, during our videos here, we don't read the full studies because, well, my videos would go over an hour long if we did that, and there are oh so many things I try to squeeze into these videos in just about a 20 or so minute period of time. Here's another new COVID study that you'll be able to read. COVID-19 raises stakes for heart attacks, strokes, and even death, finds a new study. Oh, that's just a terrible thing. We've been hearing a lot about cardiovascular issues, heart issues, stroke issues. Every day it seems like we find out something new that this virus can do, or something that just further backs up something we knew that the virus can do. And I'm telling you, it is never good news. All right, over in Uganda, it looks like 49 new Mpox cases are being reported at this time, which is not a good thing. So Mpox, yes, we're going to have to continue keeping an eye on that. Let's just recap the UK for this week, since we did talk about the UK. And here, point in case right here, remember I said we know COVID is increasing there. It was up by 17.8% for cases, 3,496, up by 529. Deaths were up 27.3%. And you're going to see some articles out here. Oh, deaths have a 25% rise in the UK. Okay, well, 25%, it's actually 27.3, and it's up by 35, and that is 27.3% of 163. So we're not talking a massive number, but still, they did have another 163 deaths in the past week. Healthcare, now this, it's 2,622 patients admitted, up by 149, or 6%. Taking a look at what's going on with the pollen levels, 42% of the country is in low to medium status, just a little bit of orange in Texas today. Now taking a look at air qualities, and you'll see there are a few areas here and there that are dealing with some bad air qualities, and we do have a little bit of yellow and yellowish green over the Great Lakes, and then we have some yellow and even a few orange areas in the Northeast. California still has a few troubling red areas, and as does the Pacific Northwest. You can see here there is some orange in Oregon as well today, but overall not as bad. But again, there are just a few minor concerning areas in the East at this time. Want to learn more about the climate and weather? You can do that over at Climate Data Report on X and on Blue Sky, and also you can follow me on my other channel here on YouTube, which is Climate Data Report. Next video I think is going to be tomorrow, but we'll see. And if I do one tomorrow, we'll update on Hurricane Oscar. I believe it's still a hurricane at this point. All right, Philadelphia over the last day on Saturday had another 821 EMS incidents. All right, at 6:01 on a Sunday. We don't usually do videos at this time. Here's what is going on in southeast Pennsylvania. And we can see here that in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, Currently at this time, there are 10 EMS calls. In Chester County, Pennsylvania, we do see there are some calls to be had at this time. All right, I've been talking about how the drop in COVID is starting to slow down here in the United States, and that still remains the case. There's a lot of things, a lot of fall activities going on right now. A lot of people went leaf peeping, and I did want to show you that real quickly. Take a look here in Pennsylvania. This is up in the Pocono Mountains. You can see, look at that. There's just a stream of cars going back to New York City. It's the same deal once again, and I gotta show you this because this is ridiculous. I found where COVID likes to live and breathe in New York State. Literally at this rest area here on the New York State Thruway. Look at this. If you have to go into a crowded place like this, this is mainly why I'm showing you this. You're traveling to and from places. All walks of life meet up at rest areas. Look at this. There is hardly even any parking spaces left. I've been to this rest area before. Where these cars are parked over here on the left, on the far left, that's actually not parking spaces for cars. That's actually where the tour buses, I believe, are supposed to park, unless signage has changed. It's been a long time since I've been here, but you can see all walks of life meet up at these rest areas. So please be extremely careful. I can only imagine what the air quality is inside there. I don't recall if it has high ceilings, but it's that time of year. People are leaf peeping. The little resort towns are really crowded. Oh, look at that. There goes what is either a police car. Nope. I think that may even be an ambulance leaving the rest area. Yep. Sign of the times. We see emergencies happening anywhere and anywhere. All right, Canada. The viral activity level for COVID is moderate at this time. Flu A is low. Flu B is not being detected. And RSV is in the moderate category at this time. Walgreens will get a new update again tomorrow. I think the positivity rate is going to continue to drop, but I think the drop may slow tomorrow. We'll have to see. Only time will tell. National positivity rate on the last update for COVID was 17%. And the prior week was 18.4%. Again, hopefully we will get the new update again tomorrow. They have been good on updating lately. All right, we need to take a look at emergency department visits. We stopped doing our check of all the states, but I think today does warrant that we take a look at them, because I was skimming through these and noticing, there's several states that are starting to slow down. But you won't hear many of the people out there that are talking about what's up and coming actually mention this. The only thing they talk about is, ooh, there's a big drop right now. There's a big drop right now. Okay, that's fine, but we always need to keep our eyes open to these little tiny things that may say that, hey, maybe that drop's slowing. So across the United States, it's still dropping, but if you look really close, you can see it did slightly slow down. Why? Because there are some states that did slow down. Alabama had a humongous drop. But look what's happened here. It's bottomed. It's kind of like stock market. When the stock market goes down, it bottoms at some point. And, well, Alabama might be doing that with COVID. Now, could it just stall and continue to drop? Sure, it could. But at the moment, what we're seeing here is that the drop is not occurring too much anymore. It's flattened out. And Alaska. Once again, same things, very early stages of this for Alaska. I would say Alabama is a little bit further along in that. Arizona is definitely still dropping. Arkansas, California, all still dropping. Again, these are emergency department visits for people diagnosed with COVID at this time. Colorado continues to drop. Connecticut continues to drop. Delaware is still dropping. Washington, D.C., it's still dropping, but it did slow off a little bit. Looks like it may have resumed dropping once again. Florida is still dropping, ever so slight slowdown there. Same with Georgia. Georgia has slowed off a little bit. Guam was dropping, then it bottomed, and now maybe a little bit of a rise there. Hawaii still dropping, Idaho still dropping, Illinois still dropping, Indiana still dropping, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, all still dropping. Maine continues to drop. Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan still dropping. We'll have to keep an eye on Michigan, because remember, we showed, I believe it was Warren, Michigan yesterday. Yeah, really high reading of wastewater there. Got to figure out what that is all about. Mississippi is still dropping. Montana is finally dropping. It took a long time for Montana to actually start dropping. Nebraska is dropping. Nevada, New Hampshire, all dropping at this time. New Jersey is still dropping. Maybe a sign of a slowdown, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that. I think they're going to continue to drop, but we'll see. A lot of these people that went leaf peeping, that went up north, did in fact come from North Jersey. You know, a lot of people that go up to New England or New York City, all those areas. New Mexico has completely stopped dropping. They have leveled off at this point. New York State is still dropping. North Carolina is still dropping. North Dakota has stopped dropping. Almost looks like it's trying to rise a little bit once again. Ohio, that has slowed down a little bit, and we do know Ohio's cases this week. Real quickly, let's take a detour and review Ohio from the past week, because you can see here 3-week trend for cases: 4,219, 2,921, but then that quick drop they were seeing stalled to only just 2,874. Could they continue dropping? Yes. Or could they be bouncing off the bottom now, as I like to call it? That is also a possibility at this time. Oregon is continuing to drop. Pennsylvania is still dropping, but I gotta say, Pennsylvania has slowed off a little bit as well. Rhode Island still dropping. South Carolina still dropping, just a slight slowing. South Dakota is still dropping. Tennessee is still dropping. Texas is still dropping. Utah still dropping. Vermont is actually dropping faster now. And the deal with Vermont is their summer wave was actually later to end. And you may not see that here by the emergency department visits, but trust me, when it came to cases and deaths, they were one of the last states to actually end. They were very stubborn, much like Washington State was. Virginia is still dropping, Washington still dropping, and Washington got hit so hard with their wave that that could provide a little bit, I hate to even say this, a little bit of protection for the winter wave. Maybe their winter wave won't be as bad because they got hit so hard in the summertime, but we'll just have to play it by ear. Sometimes how hard you get hit with one wave doesn't mean anything for another wave. I mean, sometimes you get these little micro situations that go off and do their own thing. We've seen it before. West Virginia continues to drop at this time. Wisconsin was dropping. Now it looks like there's a slowing. And, well, Wyoming, still nothing from you. At some point, I would like to see an update come from Wyoming. Taking a look at what New Jersey reported for today, and only 56 out of 70 hospitals. That's 189 hospitalizations. We don't even need to look at the rest of this data. All right, real quickly, taking a look at some wastewater data, and we can see on this map here that the dark blues, which is really low levels of COVID, and you can see here, that has increased the number of dark blues, especially in New York State, Chicago area, portions of Michigan, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, even I want to say Louisiana. You still have some lighter shades of blue there, and also it looks like Rhode Island. I really got to zoom in on this. Rhode Island, we're seeing dark blues for you as well. Let's take a look at what's going on the West Coast. We'll probably do wastewater scan tomorrow because we're almost 18 minutes into this already. But taking a look at what's going on in Washington, you still have some orange and red sites. We need to erase some more of this orange and red up there, and especially in Oregon. There are far too many orange sites still. I mean, let's just click on a few of these. I mean, they're dropping, but they still do exist, so that still is a problem. California, you can clearly see here, things have gotten much better there. Utah, things have gotten better. Who remembers when all these sites lined up right here were all orange and red? Now you just have a few of them. So things are definitely on the improvement side of the aisle. But Maricopa County, Arizona, take a look at this. Yeah, you do have some rise being shown here for COVID. But here's a much bigger wastewater site, 2.4 million population, and it is dropping at this time. So that's some good news. Here's another smaller site that is still rising. Let's continue on here. Oklahoma. I am seeing a red site here. What's the deal with Bryan County? It's red, but it's dropping at this time. Texas, you're not doing too bad. Everywhere else is not really doing too bad. Although Virginia, I will say this, Virginia is seeing some areas that are still showing red, but when you take a look at the chart, it is dropping at this time, which I guess that is good to see. Here's an orange site. Amherst, Lynchburg City, Campbell, Bradford City, you're not dropping as much anymore. Pennsylvania is not doing bad. And again, a lot of dark blue sites in New York State at this time. I'm not concerned about New York State starting to rise again for probably several more weeks. Probably not until at some point in November. And of course, New England, we have orange and red sites showing up. And of course, that is going to be the thing because you just had leaf peeping season. So that could add some extra transmission. Although you take a look here at Maine. Let's see here. York County, Maine. Oh, look at this. starting to rise once again in York County, but I just saw Cumberland County. Yeah, what we have to see with Cumberland County, Maine, we actually do have to look at wastewater scale. Let's just do that real quickly. Let's see what it's coming up there, because the CDC site doesn't update as frequently. Let's take a look here. And Cumberland County, Maine, it is showing up as high, but it's not really rising all that much at this time. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Sunday edition of the virus update. We got through a lot today, didn't we? There was a lot of news, which is unusual on a Sunday, but it's a sign of the times. I mean, there's several other viruses out there that are a problem, which is why we changed this name of these videos from Pandemic Update to Virus Update a few weeks ago, because we talk about so many darn viruses, but the COVID virus is the one that is causing us the most problems at this time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time, which I do believe will be tomorrow. Of course, I'll tell you otherwise if it's not. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Sunday evening. Thanks for watching.